piece?
And still breathing, yes. Listen to that. Not to 60 in under 3 seconds. Amanda?
Damn it, Laura, I'm busy.
I see you've changed your look. That was you in Bolivia then, with
I've been all over, and I'm going to places you can't conceive of. You're the one being left behind this time. Sorry.
This definitely isn't Arthur's tomb.
We knew that already. What's wrong with it?
I've seen enough tombs in my life to know when I'm looking at a cenotaph.
Say who?
A diversion. This place is trying too hard. It's hiding something.
A body?
No, that's the problem. Good thing these weren't here last time I came.
Hey, you want to go for a walk?
Sure.
Who is Lara Croft? Maybe that's the big mystery.
Adventurous, multifaceted, elegant. She's nothing and she's everything.
Hot cleavage.
Independent.
Strength.
Lara Croft is a pretty hot chick.
What's that?
What?
Yeah.
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 The skin uses a subsurface scattering, which is something that we've only been able to approximate recently. So what we do is we take a rim lighting and we bleed that in just a little bit and we color it slightly to create that semi-translucent look.
That's pretty cool. So the new movement system's been totally redesigned from the ground up.
It's fluid movement.
Fluid movement?
So fluid movement is basically the marriage of control and animation. The terms fluid animation and responsive movement. It has up to 11 animations simultaneously, so you can have a very procedural look, even though all the individual assets were created by hand by our animators.
So she doesn't control like a tank anymore, which is new.
That's a little close, man.
That's a wrap.
My brother, he's kind of gay.
See, I didn't do the soundtrack at all.
California, welcome to it.
We have all these instruments and a ton of other instruments that we used in the soundtrack as well to sort of get a more live feel into it. So we managed to get a lot of the traditional themes from their old Tomb Raider games into the game as well. And the fans were very, very focused on detail. I use Nuendo, which is a sequencing program. Essentially what you see over here is sort of different channels. Got a virtual mixer here. I can sort of choose any kind of instrument I want. Out here you got my rendering farm where all the instruments are hosted. If you look at the labels on them, they say like brass, and legato, string, percussion, main computer. You got all these different instruments that we pulled together in the soundtrack in order to make it very much sort of come alive.
And what is the story for Tomb Raider Legend?
Lara Croft finding out what really happened to her mom.
Finding cool treasures.
You have to play the game to find out.
It's archaeology into Lara's past, isn't it?
There was this history that her mom had died.
It's Excalibur.
Excalibur?
Bing! Exactly. Uncovering the mysteries of Lara Croft herself. That's what Tomb Raider Legend's about. It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, in the game, there are 35 costumes in total.
So what were some of the good costumes?
Blue workout outfit I like a lot.
Red version of the party dress.
The winter outfits. I kind of like the winter outfit. A couple of goth ones, one with the lace shirt.
Goth Lara, of course.
The goth one was cool.
Biker outfit.
Black jacket outfit.
We did get Lara in the bikini.
Specialized. It's my favorite.
Favorite outfit, by far, is the Tokyo dress. The Tokyo outfit, of course.
The evening dress is nice.
Kind of like the nightclub dress, like keeping with the big cut off the side. I like seeing some thigh.
Dude, I think everybody likes the Tokyo outfit. Tight-fitting, form-fitting thing is nice and suggestive. We gotta look at that. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Tokyo outfit's awesome.
Tomb Raider physics engine, you got swinging on ropes, you're solving mechanical puzzles, you're using the grapple, you're blowing up walls, balconies, it's got ragdoll animation.
We did not use Havoc. We used the custom physics engine, and it is good enough that it looks like Havoc, but it's not. It's all over.
The physics engine for Tomb Raider Legend is written from the ground up. Everything about it was written with Tomb Raider in mind. It took about a year to write the basic engine, and then another half year or so to get it integrated and get all the systems working like rope and vehicles. Safe to say, physics is only going to get bigger and better.
So here we are on the extras. We shouldn't need to look at credits or cinematics.
But we can look at character profiles.
Lara Croft's character profile, which we unlock for getting 10% of the total bronze achievements.
It still does the picture-in-picture thing. Lara Croft is an adventurer, world traveller, an archaeologist who seeks out tombs and relics, fueled by an obsession to uncover the secrets of the great ancient civilizations. She is a superb athlete, fluent in a dozen languages, and will stop at nothing to get what she wants.
View images, yes.
Oh, cool. Yes, she is shooting backwards. That's actually how she travels.
I see, by gun.
What she does is she just constantly fires a gun, and that propels her to the left, which is what she's doing there. It's a form of flight. Here's another form of flight, but she's actually coming into the Earth's atmosphere here. Okay. So she's actually firing to slow her descent.
Right. Is that how that works?
That's how that works.
Lara underwater without guns.
Yeah.
There we go. It's just a couple. They look very concept arty.
Yeah.
So next we have Winston, who we unlocked with getting 80% of the total bronze artifacts.
Winston's family has been with the Crofts for generations, and he has been the family butler since he was honourably discharged from the military in his late 20s, just as his father before him. He moved into Croft Manor to stay as the only living staff when his wife died, before Lara was born. He tends to all Lara's household needs, going far beyond the duties of a traditional butler, given Lara's unusual lifestyle and pursuits, but he has never disappointed her. His loyalty to Lara, her parents, and Croft Manor is beyond question.
Yeah, and Winston doesn't have concept art.
No, he's just a dude.
Yeah. Next up we've got Rutland, who we got for doing 50% of the bronze artifacts.
Yes, with a surname that's fun to say. James William Rutland Jr. The Rutland name has been attached to politicians and CEOs for decades, an American aristocracy. So James William Rutland Jr. grew up in a bubble of enormous wealth and privilege. He went to West Point and managed to graduate on his own merits, barely. And it gave him a sense of self-discipline and strength that he finds useful now that he's free of the military. Except for his time at West Point, he has never known scarcity or refusal. He is an energetic man who plays hard and has never been lazy in that regard, though he works hard only in pursuit of his desires.
Okay.
You know, since playing Calling, every time I see something like that, I think, he is a man who doesn't like to lose. Because that was the thing it said for the main character.
She's a girl who likes to win.
Yeah.
So Amanda Avert, we got for doing 70% of total bronze artifacts.
She was one of Lara Croft's best friends at university. While she was a promising cultural anthropologist, she had a love of metaphysics and a fascination with mysticism that, in Lara's opinion, interfered with her ability to be an effective scientist. Amanda dreamed of rediscovering mystical knowledge from the past, knowledge that the scientific age had not only lost sight of, but actively drove out of the world. She hoped to then teach these forgotten truths to others so that they could gain spiritual enlightenment. But her career, wherever it was headed, was cut short by a terrible unexplained event in Peru, where her body remains with a dozen others in a collapsed tomb.
Doesn't now though, yeah. So we've got some images, so we've got some initial concept art in her 3 outfits.
Yeah.
Or it is a different blonde colour, yeah.
Because of her stroke with death. Brush with death? Brush with death. You could stroke death as well, but he's got a puppy, so you know.
Okay.
That's only the 2 images, fair enough.
Next up, we've got Toru Nishimura, which we get for doing 40% of total bronze artifacts. They're in a very odd order. You'd think they do like 10, 20, 30, 40, but they're a bit all over. But here we go.
Toru Nishimura is a wealthy media magnate who owns a half-dozen television stations and newspapers throughout southern Japan. His rise to this position was rapid, and he still enjoys acting like the journalist he once was, so his days aren't completely filled with corporate concerns. One investigation led to a corrupt cabinet minister, a priceless silver statuette, and a young archaeologist who saved his life when the artifact turned out to be much more than it appeared. Lara Croft and he became friends after the incident, and they help each other whenever needed.
That's cool.
He's the guy who goes, I am also the dangerous.
It's a bit odd we're getting basically all of the information about some of these characters because you don't know anything about them just playing the game.
No, well, other than, the little bits that it gives you, the crumbs.
So Shogo Takamoto we get for doing 40% of the total bronze as well.
Takamoto was a rising star in the Japanese mob for years and is now a Yakuza Kamucho.
Yeah.
He has a love of ancient weapons, and he became a fixture in the upscale black market, frustrating collectors and adventurers alike with his mixing of forgeries with authentic rare items, using the strength of the Yakuza to protect himself from cheated buyers. Confrontation with Lara Croft over some forged items, however, led to a loss of face so extreme that he was forced to withdraw from the Antiques Underground. Why he did not kill her remains a mystery within the Yakuza, because the idea of him being unable to kill her is beyond belief.
So we've got Zip, who we get for doing 20% of the total bronze artifacts.
Zip is Lara's right-hand man and tech expert. Always in contact with Lara via her headset, he is able to instantly provide her with a wealth of information by accessing various electronic reference resources, he Googles it, okay, and other online knowledge databases. In his spare time, he tinkers around with electronics, developing new technology that might prove useful to Miss Croft in the field. In addition to being a savvy purveyor of all things geeky, Zip is also a distinguished chef and has worked in some of the best kitchens in Northern Europe.
Good for Zip, yeah. Next we've got Alistair Fletcher, who we get for getting 90% of the total bronze.
See, I thought it was Alistair. Is it Alistair? I've been saying it wrong all along. Alistair Fletcher is Lara's research assistant and a repository for a fantastic array of detailed historical information. He confines his researches to libraries and museums, however, concentrating on understanding and explaining what has already been found, as opposed to Lara's search for new artefacts. He's a 15th year doctoral student at Oxford and hasn't received his doctorate because his belief that everything is connected to everything else makes it impossible for him to draw the boundaries required to finish his dissertation. Unlike, I may add, the Professor Worth he was mocking in the story, who probably did get his doctorate.
So Anaya Imanu we get for doing 30% of the total bronze artifacts.
Yes, Anaya Imanu, just to say it differently for you, is a civil engineer working in impoverished areas of South America. She's a friend of Lara's dating back to their days at university, and she was with Lara during the tragedy near Paraíso, Peru. She has since led a distinguished career of her own, routinely crossing paths with Lara.
Then we have the unknown entity,
who gets his own entry,
which is 100% of the bronze.
Yes, so only once you've got it all. An unexplained malevolent entity of unknown origin. Lara Croft first encountered it in a subterranean pre-Incan ruin outside of Paraíso, Peru, where it brutally killed most of Lara's colleagues.
So next up is the location concepts. This is pretty straightforward. For each one, you unlock it for collecting all the bronze rewards for each section.
Bolivia, which is where we start. Oh, she's in it. I just spotted her there. I didn't initially. That's cool because I like the whole mist covering the bottom of the valley. Because one, it makes it easier to render. Two, it gives it a wonderful atmosphere. And of course, it has those wonderful waterfalls and rock outcrops and branches and.
Yeah, a lot of this just seems like concept art of sort of going, we want rocks, we want greenery, we want mist. This sort of the feel of the level.
Yeah, it's very green, which is quite nice. Oh, that's the door on the left there. The one that the artifact is hidden above. Ah, yes, the evil Kotrak Empire.
In green and black for some reason. But there we go, that was Bolivia.
And then Peru.
This is the town opening. There'll be lots of sort of concepts of the little shops. And
yes, it was quite nice to see a sort of an area with little houses and shops and promenades.
Yeah.
It was proven to be quite good.
Yes. And that's the opening bit where it was full of water, but after it's not full of water, I think, is the idea. And then the caves.
There's the use of colour there.
It's very red, yeah, and then green here.
Oh, that bit was brilliant with the purple light. Oh, it's not purple there, it's all sunlight.
Yeah, I wonder why they decided to make it purple. Yes, this is all the same sort of the big ball structure puzzle room. It's all part of that. And then this was it Tiwanaku?
Tiwanaku.
Tiwanaku.
You can see the sword down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll
back to the streets.
Yeah. Next up is Japan.
Yes, those wonderful big offices.
It's very
guy
pretty.
over there.
It's all, I'm assuming, very sleek. That's what Japan felt like.
Yeah, because these are sort of big old superstructures.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, and that bridge that we kind of rope across after we get to there with the bike.
It's Mirror's Edge again.
Quite like the way Lara's actually in quite a few of these shots. And yes, that's the gazebo over there with the kind of pagoda-y roof. But like the background with the communication antennae in the background, that's really cool.
It's like a private garden on top of one of the buildings. So is the next one as well, I think.
I quite like the giant cocktail umbrellas as well.
It wasn't actually quite this complicated, is the thing. It's a shame. The roof garden, like there was one with like the square grass and the lights we could shoot at, but it wasn't quite that pretty.
Oh yes, there were cubicles inside what looked like a sort of a news centre.
Which I think maybe it was a news centre with the friend of Lara saying he was a media mogul.
Right, that makes sense. Sort of bringing nature indoors, but yes, all of those monitors also sort of makes sense in terms of. But I thought it was the Yakuza guys' place we were in that had that. But well, whatever. Oh, I like the bamboo shoot there with the water coming out of it. And of course, everyone remembers inside the building those two huge those weren't in it.
Yeah, that
Where'd they come
doesn't
from?
look anything like Japan, but that does. There we go.
Yeah, although that section did drag on. Actually, there's loads of concept art for Japan compared to the others.
Well, because it has a lot of like quite pretty source material, and I think it seems very exotic to people. Because I think most of the Tomb Raider team are in America.
Again, I'm not sure this bit was really in it. I quite like the look of it though.
Yeah, I'm thinking, did they want the level to be much bigger than it was in the end?
Yeah, maybe it was more than just, the top floors of these buildings.
Next up is West Africa, which will be Ghana. Yes, that's the lovely bigger waterfall.
Rhythm's gonna get you. Where was that?
I do remember the weird sort of scorpion statue on some of the walls occasionally.
Okay. So on the left there we've got the area with all of the bridges, I think? I'm not sure. Maybe it was just, once again, sort of inspiration rather than a complete... Because I'm not sure I actually recognise these locations from Ghana. But I do remember lots of bits with, bridges over the water, etc. Which both of those have. Yeah, you can see that
the water
sort of...
wheel.
Yeah. And it's hanging on the... There's a bridge thing, which is hanging from... I don't know what you call it. The bit it runs on anyway.
More of the water wheel.
Oh, that looks great.
Very green, which to be fair, Ghana was. It was very jungly, I think, was the idea.
Not sure what to make of that one either. Was this one of those that looks like it's sort of a barrier stopping the water from leaking into another section?
Yes, wasn't there the water section we had to fill with water? Yeah, I think that's what that's supposed to be. But yes, a lot of this looks sort of inspiration rather than...
Well, this is supposed to be what the front of the temple looks like once the waterfall has been drawn out of the way.
Right.
But it didn't quite look like that. And we're singing for England. And this is what England looks like. When you think of England, you think the back of a building where you turn on the power. Actually, I really liked the whole Camelot Museum thing. I thought it was brilliant. It was very twee.
The Camelot Museum, yeah.
Also, I love the state of disrepair it was in. Which repair, you ask? Disrepair. Does that say Sir Galahad? Or Sir Gawain? Well, whatever. The whole point is that it was all like, well, what's the phrase, where it's like the mechanical dummies and stuff. It was cool anyway. And then underneath, of course, we had the doggercombs, which are like catacombs, but different. And yeah, where you swung down underneath the whole thing. Oh, that's very cool looking. I like the streaks of light coming in from the top left there.
It's all very mood setting.
That looks really cool. That's like proper catacombs, isn't it? Possibly a little better than it came out in the actual 3D. And yes, this strange facade for the underground mausoleum.
That's a bit odd.
Not sure what we're looking at on the left. Is that supposed to be one of the bells?
Yeah.
And then on the right, of course, that's supposed to be King Arthur.
Egg King Arthur.
Once future king.
And Kazakhstan?
Yes, as long as you can Kazakhstan the weather, you'll probably be alright. Because, yeah, it was cold. Now you were rushing around. Training. I can keep going. Yes, they'd had this, the wonderful thing where you sort of dive and then parachute down. You don't actually get to do it for very long, unfortunately.
No, you don't.
I would have liked to have seen that expanded a bit more. But I did like the scale of this sort of hidden military base. And yes, the fact that it extended underground and then it's like it goes into it and it's like, oh yeah, it was this experiment back in the, was it the 60s it was supposed to be?
Yeah, which is very cool and yes, very of the time, I suppose. Like
I loved all the
Soviet
Tesla
secret
stuff as well.
bases and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. There wasn't a lot of concept art of outside actually. It went inside very quickly. But yeah, it's all Tesla arches and machinery and icicles.
I wonder if they sort of had mostly the inside section and then expanded it later, maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, that looks cool.
Maybe they sort of went for, well, how do we get here? Like, what is near here? We can't just be in a new tomb.
In fact, that feels smaller in scale than the finished product. Oh, let's check Nepal's. It's cold and mountainy, but with some remnants of civilization. Looks like someone's clothes have been let dry.
Maybe.
Is that what it's supposed to be? And of course the wreckage from your flight.
Seems they even have the temple in the distance in that past shot.
Not sure what's wrong with Lara there.
That's the sort of weird comic book style you see of her occasionally, yeah.
It's an interesting shot. I'm not sure that there's anything like that in the game, but I quite like the whole, this is like stuff that people have left behind, because you get that on like mountains where people have left behind all sorts of tents and rubbish and paraphernalia.
Yeah, because they keep saying they want to do something about it. I think I remember reading that in the news.
Yeah, there's big, like at the top of Everest, there's these big pushes to sort of clean up all of the
it's just going to be full of
corpses
junk
and stuff and paraphernalia. Less green in these pictures, I noticed, because I always think it looks very toothpastey, but that doesn't, because you kind of expect ice to be sort of a bluey white colour. Oh, that's the section where you shoot at the Russian military helicopter with the rocket launcher.
What?
You remember that?
I remember Rutland's helicopter and her going, ugh, but no, you never used a rocket launcher to shoot it. Interesting.
I'm not sure I like the art style there. It's interesting what it's showing, that I just don't like the way she's stretching and she's not quite wearing the more practical snowsuit that she wears in the actual game. Because it's like, I'm thinking that exposed midriff there, going to freeze her butts off.
Well, these are the underground bits where we were jumping along the blocks of ice. Like that, in fact.
There she is, dabbing way before it was popular. On
Yes,
a big
she is.
ice cubey thing.
Oh, that's the inside of the temple.
Ah, do you remember the big golden figure in the distance? Something that they probably couldn't do. Oh, was there?
There was a figure, but in the game it was behind the two pulley system things. So yes, they must have just put the pulley system in afterwards.
And then we've got...
Special.
Special. Oh, right, this is the sword and the Galali key.
Yeah.
Which is super complicated, actually, looking at that.
They actually have each of the parts.
But then I suppose the point is that it's not a piece of stone. It's some sort of strange metallic, because you can tell from the sound of it, same strange sort of metallic material. And when you look at it closely, you can see all these patterns etched on it. And if you think about it, that's what our technology is. I mean, the whole reason this runs on a PS3 is because someone's essentially taken some stone and etched some shapes into it.
Yeah.
Well, circuit boarding.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Silicon and copper and all that sort of stuff.
That's one of the things you shove the swords into.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it working.
Oh yes, those are those cool stones like in Kolat where you touch them and they go and then spring back together. And you have to touch them in a particular order. I quite like that actually where she found like her childhood drawing at the end where she noted down the order you press them in. It's really cool.
Same as it didn't really like exposition about them, but it felt like you were picking sort of coordinates almost. It felt a little Stargate-y.
Yeah, like she was setting the chevrons.
Yeah. Oh, and there's only a couple of those, fair enough. So next we have object models. These are for doing silver rewards for each one.
Lara. There we go. There's a Lara. Always important to have a Lara. Never leave home without one. A grenade.
Yes, apologies for the state of the sort of washed outiness. I don't think it's a big deal. I think you can just go through them.
Okay. So we've got grenade, which goes boom. Dual pistols, which go a bang, a bang, a bang. Got a health pack. Oh, the cage where it's like, is that the skull of a monkey or is that the skull of a demon? Grapple this. Oh, it's the thing that you grapple and then pull.
Right at the beginning, yeah.
Jaguar. Oh, look at that. Urgh. Got Merkay. PDA. Rutland's helicopter. It's supposed to be a knife. Because of course each of the artifacts in each of the different levels is supposed to be a different thing.
Yeah. Croft Manor, weirdly, after Bolivia.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, well, obviously it's an alphabet. No, it's not.
Yeah. So we've got an Alistair.
Or an Alistair. Depends how well you
I
know.
always think he looks a bit like a pimp, but Lady Croft. The pool platform, that was the thing in the middle we could pull back and forth.
Right.
The Athena statue, that was in the sort of the front room foyer.
Oh gosh, the bloom is real. A Winston.
Oh, Winston, yeah. And then a Zip. The fish statue from the pool.
Such a grumpy looking fish.
And then, yes, the things in Croft Manor, they were crests. As soon as they had the crests over the fireplace, they felt very Hogwarts houses.
Anania?
Anaya.
A boulder? That's not a boulder. That's a big ball.
Yeah.
A chicken.
What?
A chicken.
Okay.
Jeep Commander.
No,
I
that's
put
a
it to you
Jeep.
that that's an actual Jeep. A Ducati Monster.
Is that the first bike we were on?
Yeah. A scientist?
Oh, is it from one of the people from the flashback?
Ah, right. A shotgun. You can use the shotgun. Punching dummy, which is what you're supposed to practice your fancy moves on. And then we had these weird statues, which are our collectible for that mission. Transport truck. Turret truck. A Jeep Wrangler. That's someone who wrangles Jeeps. And then a young Lara.
Next is Japan. We had the chest, which I think is the thing we had to push and get the gold from.
Yeah.
The cool dragon from the middle of the room. And then the Ducati Superbike, which is the one that goes from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. We have the fancy sashaying evening wear Lara. The Jade Ball.
which I think is the thing we pushed in front of the turret.
Absolutely.
The bartender,
Bartender,
who
yeah.
tends the bar.
And Nishimura, doing a walk animation.
Who is also dangerous.
Helicopter. Oh yes, we did escape on a helicopter in the end, I remember.
Ah yes, Nishimura's helicopter.
Yeah, and a Takamoto showing off all his tattoos. Party female A, dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Party female B, also dancing. Party female C, still dancing. Party male A, that's kind of dancing.
That's party male A shooting his spinneret things. It looks like he's shooting.
He almost looks like he could be like doing a really weird air guitar. Party male B. Oh my god, why is the male dancing so bad? And the Buddha statue. The Buddha silver and Buddha gold. That's what we had to pick up.
Artifact for that particular area. Oh, we have all the weapons on this one for some reason. The rifle. The Super Mario Galaxy. The grenade launcher, the weapon we affectionately call the thumb gun. The binoculars.
Which I don't think you ever physically get to see, like, as an item.
Did we get to see it in Croft Manor? I forget.
Maybe.
The grapple.
Which again, I'm not sure we ever really got to look at. That doesn't really look like a grapple.
No.
Aw, doggy.
A raft. Which of course we pulled ourselves around on quite a lot. Crate. Got a barrel. A pendant. Interesting looking. And masks for this particular level. Bronze, silver, and gold.
Is that what they were supposed to be?
Yeah, I couldn't really make them out either.
Yeah, so Kazakhstan, we've got an Amanda.
Interesting tattoo on the front there.
She's very tattooed. I assume they were supposed to be occult things. We've got hostage A and hostage B. I think they're the people maybe in the medical centre?
Yeah, where you speak Russian to them.
Yeah. The unknown entity, obviously.
Well, I like the hand thing he does.
He's very evil. The shield we found in the sort of the side office that told us to go to
It's got a map on it.
Cornwall. Thug D. Only Thug D though.
Thug C, B and A have all gone missing.
Yeah. The mag gun. Or the space gun, as I think it actually called it in the game. The Tesla battery, which we had to shove around. And a winter Lara. Was that it? It didn't actually show us the orbs.
No,
that's
which
really
is weird.
odd.
Because, well, I suppose there wasn't really much of a model to them.
They were just balls, admittedly.
Arthur has... The problem is that when King Arthur was ruling England and walking around with the Knights of the Round Table, people kept on saying to him, you know, doesn't that hurt your back? We have a biker Lara, a coffin, which were the things we were surfing on, basically.
Yeah.
Dioramas Merlin. Yeah, in the concept art, they were like fully realised stuff. And in this, it's like they're really, really sort of rudimentary wooden puppets. So I think it kind of works quite well.
Well, yeah, because it's like those actually quite complicated animatronics, they're expensive for one. So it's like some naff museum won't have them.
Got the A-Team van, a forklift, with the very important side bits to protect us from the traps. Mercy.
There's Mercy. And of course the sea serpent.
Serpent? A sword in a stone. I think that was Excalibur. And we have the bronze cross, the silver cross, and the gold cross.
The bronze one is a different model. The silver and gold look like they're the same. Oh no, they are all different.
Well, no, the gold and the silver are the same. But different colours, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a completely different one.
And then we got to the Nepals.
Yep. We've got the Galali key. You know what? That'd make a good brooch. The snow leopard.
Oh, actually, if you go back onto the Galali key, do you know what it reminds me of? The Star Trek intercom button. And then, yes, a lovely snow leopard. And then we have Thugs A and Thugs B. And Merc B, who looks an awful lot like a thug. With a helmet. And then we have a Winter Lara.
Oh, we had Winter Lara before. Never mind. And there were prayer wheels, right?
I don't know what that is, but fair enough.
It's a wheel you turn, it's prayer.
Okay.
Does exactly what it says on the tin.
And then the final Bolivia Redux.
Yes, more ducks than you can. So yes, it had the attack helicopter, which was the thing you saw shooting down with the RPG in one of the bits of footage. And then you've got Excalibur.
The fully forged version.
Yes, it used to be Caliber. And you've got all the bits separate. Handle,
hilt, shard 1, shard 2. Oh, these are the two versions of the journal.
Yeah.
If you tilt them forward or back, no, you can only spin them.
Only turn them.
We see them very well in the cutscenes. And then the Yeti version, which is very cute.
And then the obelisk that you shove the sword into.
And we've got Takamoto's staff in this one rather than in Japan.
Which is literally just...
Yeah, it's the bit of the shards is just stuck on the top.
Why isn't this in Japan? It's a really curious decision, but whatever.
Okay, so these are all the outfits in Tomb Raider Legend. We're looking at it within Croft Manor just because you can actually look at them, whereas on the actual extras menu it blows out the actual picture of the costume, which is a terrible shame.
Actually? You were just saying actual lots, I thought I'd join in.
Okay, so this first one, Legend, it's just the default outfit you get from the start.
Yep, it looks like this. It's very cool. It's very Lara.
So the next one, Legend Union Jack, we get for getting all the silver rewards in Bolivia. And yes, you look like a Spice Girl.
Girl power.
Legend Black, we get for getting all the silver rewards in Croft Manor. Legend Blue, we get for getting all the silver rewards in Peru. And Legend Pink, we get for getting all the silver rewards in Ghana. So Biker, we get for completing the England levels, Cornwall. Biker Red Jacket, we get for doing all the silver rewards in Cornwall.
It's very descriptive, you're wearing a red jacket.
Mm-hmm. And it should be Biker No Jacket, which we get for doing all the silver and gold rewards in Cornwall. And then Evening Ripped is from completing Japan. And the very nice Evening Red is from getting all the silver rewards in Japan. Le Classique is for finding the gold reward in Peru. And Classic Grey is for finding the gold reward in Ghana. We get Winter just for completing Kazakhstan.
Oh, it looks nice.
And we also get Winter No Coat just for completing Kazakhstan.
Yeah, it's the scene after where you rip off the coat because it's on fire.
Ah, yes, she does, doesn't she?
Yes.
So Winter Orange we get for completing Nepal and getting all the silver rewards.
Also, you can compare it, and part of the difference is the skin tone. Because you can change it. Oh, actually, it doesn't change that much. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Orange No Coat is obviously the same version of the other thing, but you get that by...
Kazakhstan, getting all the silvers.
Yeah.
And then we have a Winter Pink, which is completing the Nepal time trial. And then Pink No Coat, Peru time trial.
Because when I think Peru, I think winter.
And the cat suit is for getting the gold reward in Japan. Very nice. The snowsuit is the gold reward in Nepal.
It's a bit like the cat suit.
Very tanned in that one still. The suit is for getting the gold reward in Croft Manor. I like that outfit.
Then here it is again in Cream.
Cream, you get it for doing silver and gold. The Special Forces is for getting the gold reward in Kazakhstan. Special Forces Urban is for doing the gold reward in Cornwall.
And if you're nice, it's Special Forces Urbane.
The Goth reward is from completing the time trial in Cornwall. The Goth ones are very cool. Same as Goth lace shirt is the Japan time trial.
Well, it's a bodysuit, not a shirt.
Sport was from getting the gold reward in Bolivia. Sport green was the Bolivia time trial. We got the swimsuit for doing all the time trials. And then the swimsuit black is all the time trials and all the rewards, so that's actually quite difficult to get. Also, it doesn't look black. She looks like she has like green on her. You're gonna have a close look. I can't really make it out.
Yeah, it's kind of got a pattern.
It's almost like shells or something. But yeah, so that was a look at the black one, which yes, sounds like it was the most difficult one to get. Amanda for completing the Ghana time trial.
It's literally just Amanda.
It's Amanda, yeah. And then Amanda in Winter, specifically for the Kazakhstan time trial. So, the three upgrades you get. Increased magazine size. The pistol holds 40 rounds now. We get for doing 25% of the bronze and 25% of the silver, so you could actually get that quite quickly.
We did.
The increased accuracy, which that has a little sort of side note here, which says what it means is it's just as accurate but at a greater distance. It's 50% bronze, 50% silver, and then the increased damage is for 75% bronze and 75% silver.
Which is why we didn't get it until quite late.
Alright, so cheat codes. So the first one, textureless modes, we get that just for completing the game. Then show enemy health, which, yeah, it's a bit weird, draw enemy health. What it means is it shows you a bar of the enemy's health.
It doesn't mean you draw the health from the enemy.
It's really bizarrely named. That's Bolivia time trial. Infinite SMG ammo is Peru time trial. Infinite assault rifle ammo is Japan time trial. Infinite shotgun ammo is Ghana time trial. Infinite grenade launcher ammo is Kazakhstan time trial. Bulletproof Lara, England time trial. Getting to wield Excalibur, the Nepal time trial.
That's the sword from the stone.
The one-shot kill cheat we get for the Bolivia Redux time trial.
Which is why we did that time trial first.
And then the final
early
cheat that we have unlocked, which is wielding the Soul Reaver, which we will probably go and grab some footage of, is 100% of the game, all rewards, all time trials.
And it's the frickin' Soul Reaver from Legacy of Kain! Now, the unfortunate mishaps video.
Hold L1, L2, X, circle, X, triangle, R1. Hold L2 and then press X, R1, circle, R1, L1, square. There it is, in all its badassery.
It's the Soul Reaver. I mean, you don't get cooler than the Soul Reaver.
And it does red instead of sort of, is it blue or green for the Excalibur?
It's green for Excalibur, but there's Kain as well, so
In
you know.
your honor, Kain, yeah. I take it we can't hurt Winston or Zip or anything.